Hello everybody, this is Cresso and I'm here for another interesting topic. And I'll call this clip The Strings of Time and the Void That Is. I'm going to share a lot what I rediscovered about time and what I know about the void. Oh wow. I've been feeling like there's been a lot of things that I've been seeing spiritually. And what I mean is not with my two eyes, but just seeing things spiritually. And the knowledge and the wisdom that's in me is just infinite. I feel that I'm reconnecting more and more of who I am. But it's like it just goes on and on, you know. And the thing is that everybody has the same thing. It's not just me. But I'm only, I'm just a being. I'm one of the beings to inspire people to reconnect consciousness and, to inspire people to know who they really are. So, to get to it, time. Now, some of the stuff that I'm going to tell you, some of you might pretty much understand where I'm coming from or know of this, what I'm about to say, so I want to get to it. What I was rediscovered about time, or what time is really, it's not just the 60 seconds time structure that we hold, or the 24-hour clock. Time, to me, time is like this. The shadow, your shadow, is time. Water is time. The taste in your mouth is time. Okay, the air, energy. Even something that's a structure that's there, that's time. The finest fabric that you could ever find on earth is time. Time is like a web, or it's like a splinter. Or time is like a fractal. It just goes on and on. It goes on and on. Time, everything that you could think of that represents time. It's like the thought in your mind is time. Music is time. Vibration, any vibration of music, like I just said, music, any vibration of time. Even the wings of a fly is time. Everything is connected, but each thing that I just mentioned have its own time track. And with that, time splits up. One fragment of time splits up into many other time. And let me go back. It splits up to many different time tracks. A dimension, every dimension is time. Some of you may not believe this, but time warps or wormholes that scientists have theories on, all that. But anyway, wormholes they exist, whether if you believe it or not. It's not just the movies, but there's a lot of things that represents time. And some of you probably know this, okay, or have a fathomable thought of this. Deja vu is time. The idea that there's many versions of this planet is time. There's many versions of Earth. This planet, there's a lot of versions of you. but they're all connected to source. Time is like a swirl, just goes on and on and on. There's no end. It's, you know, I'm driving and these things hit me. I'm like, wow, it's just amazing. It's really amazing. I feel reconnected to this knowledge. This is how I feel. Now you're probably asking, well, what does this do for me? What can make sense of all this, like, on my daily life? You know, what I just shared, you know, it helps me to get a different perspective on life itself. Not just on earth, but just life, period. I tell people on my Twitter account, you know, life is more than what you see with your eyes. I say things in many ways. And a lot of us, we rely on what we see with our two eyes. And I want to say that what you see with your two eyes is not it. It's not just what you see. There's a lot of things that goes on. But to go back with time, I was like driving and I'm like, I felt like laughing about the time structure that we built. And the only rule of time that we was brought up to believe. I'm like, wow, man, we really put ourselves in a small little box. Time is not just linear or BC or AC, whatever. There's a lot more to time than if you could just allow yourself to open up. Time is not linear. Time splits in many directions, and all types of directions. Where's the proof, you're probably asking? Well, this is something that you're gonna have to see for yourself, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a manual book that I can just give you. This is something that you're gonna have to tap in because it's in you. You're gonna have to see these things for yourself. Your DNA represents time, which a lot of you probably know that, but every single thing's time. But again, it's not the type of time that you look at your watch. Or you look at, oh man, what time I have to leave to get out of, to go back home and stuff. Oh man, I have to go back to work. No. Time is much more than that. I just feel that the reason why I was laughing early when I was thinking about time and this little structure that we put ourselves under, this little rat race about the 9 to 5 and the grind, and we feel like we don't have enough time. It helps me, it gives me a different perspective spiritually. It made me feel, I just have a different outlook on life. I have a peace of mind on that, on this level. And I could use that to meditate, whether if I'm driving, whether if I'm sleeping, whether if I'm walking, I'm meditating, the fact that I got reconnected with this knowledge. And it's amazing. It really is. It's like there's so many strings of time. That's why I named this title, this clip, Strings of Time. And the void that is. And I'm going to get to the void. But yeah, it's just amazing. Just my best thing I could say to everybody that's listening, just think of everything that you know. Look at every movement. Look at things that you don't see. Imagine what you imagine. The very thought you imagine is time. If you know what fractal is, it's like a layer. People discover what fractal is. And fractal is not just a solid matter, but I believe there's other fractal things that's unseen. But time, I call it time is like a fractal. It just goes on and on. It's just there's no end. And honestly, there's no beginning. It's just amazing. If you allow yourself to open up your mind, you'll be blown away. Take my words and think about it. If you don't believe me, that's up to you. But the thing is, what I'm about is that all I'm about is to get people to think, to open up, okay, let go of the things that you was brought up, these limitations that you think because you're a human being, you're just a limited being. That's all you are. You are much more than that. You are much more than a human being. You are consciousness. You live many lives, and this falls under the topic of time. You live many lives. Some of you remember, some of you don't. You live, depends on you, but your soul, okay, your soul doesn't have an age. It's just you live many lives. The only thing I can remember for myself at this point in time right now is that I remember living as a dimensional being, multi-dimensional being. It's a humanoid, but it's a dual. It's like I live as a spirit and I live as a physical form. So I won't go too much into that but I just want to say I am reincarnated, and I purposely chose to come here for a reason. And I see through spirit, I see how everything that I chose to came to this world, I see that everything worked out. That I inspired billions of people. I saw this. Through spirit, I saw this. And in spite of everything I've been through, of all the awkward experiences, being a human being, I still decided to come. It wasn't no sacrifice. I chose. As a matter of fact, I didn't sacrifice anything. I gained. I never lose, just like everybody else. You don't lose anything. You always gain. It depends on you, and everyone has a different philosophy about sacrifice. But anyway, it's just amazing about just the thought of time, but not the same type of time that we think again. Wow, I'm just thinking, I'm like, wow, it's like, wow, there's so many layers of time. It's just, but again, I just feel at peace. I don't feel trapped. You know what I mean? I just don't feel trapped. There's so much more to life. There is so much more to life, people. I'm not going to worry at all whether if you understand what I'm saying or whether you believe. Because you see, consciousness is in you. So whether if you put your walls up with your own ego, I'm not worrying about that at all. The truth will always be there. You can never, ever deny the truth. Whether you decide to momentarily, but ultimately the truth is there. It's right there, all around you. About the void now. The void, a lot of people don't really talk about the void. The people look at the void as something that's scary place, the unknown. The void is where the I is, which is consciousness, or God, or source as we call it. The void is timelessness. There's a connection between the type of time that I just talked about, the strings of time that I've learned, and what I'm about to say. I'm going to say this very carefully, okay, about the void. What my take on the void is. The void is like, let's just put it this way. The void is like a clay. It's just one big glop of clay. It hasn't been sculptured yet. No shape. It's just a clay. It's the clay, it's the form that's before the am. You know, you ever heard of the I am? Okay. I learned in this dimension that I is consciousness. Am. Okay? To me, I learned what am is the part that's, okay, I'm gonna say this really carefully, okay? To me, the am is basically before the action, before you basically decide to be whatever you want to be, right after the am, okay? The clay, basically, that's there on the void, okay, is just waiting to be formed, to be whatever. The thought that's in you, let's just say I, and when I mean I, it's consciousness. Consciousness thinks about it and say, okay, I am whatever. I am love. The clay forms love, an energy of love. Okay? Or you could say, I am, let's just say, I am energy or I am power. It just forms. It manifests. Whatever I thinks or do after, it just forms. The void also is basically silence. It's basically, some people, I mean, you could debate this or not. Whether if it's the void is pitch black or it's just light. Okay, but my take on it is just basically black. It's just silence. That's it, it's silence. And when you think about that to yourself, your own ego's scared. Because the reason why your own ego's scared, because there's no identity. In the void, there's no identity. It's just there to be identified. And you can identify it wherever you want it to be. Some people are afraid of the void. And I just want to say, don't be. Because you are that. Every moment to moment, before you think or do, and what you manifest, and it comes out. Each and every one of us, every being, no matter what dimension you are connected to the void. You are the void. Everything that comes from you, everything. And again, when I say you, I'm not talking about the human body. I'm talking about you. I, which is all of us, is connected into oneness. So please, separate from your human idea that you're just a human being. No, you're more than a human being. You are consciousness. So this is basically what I learned from the void. I welcome it. I am the void. It's just amazing. Reconnecting about the void and about the strings of time. Those things are connected. It's kind of the same, you know. That's my take on it. Because the time that I was talking about, the strings of time, is basically infinite time. You know, it's like there's no end and there's no beginning. I love it. It's just unbelievable. It's like I don't have enough words. You know, there's not a word in the English dictionary I could describe the feeling that I have about the strings of time and the void. So take it in what I'm telling you. Think, meditate, or whatever. You pray, meditate, whatever. But think this in you. Take it in. And I want to inspire everybody. Let go. Back to time. Let go of the time that you think it is. Meditate, let it go. Be loose. Let your guard down. And what I mean that is your ego. Let it down. Or put it aside. I mean, the ego's there for a reason, but don't let it micromanage you. Know who you are. You are consciousness. Okay? Let go. And just flow. Flow with it. It's just, life is just so much, there's so much more to life. There is so much more to life. The petty stuff that we talk about in this world and all that, the lack and all that. I'm like, people, there's so much more to life. And keep in mind, everybody, this rat race that you put yourself into, nobody else put you there but yourself. You created the rat race. I'm just basically here to say to you that there's a lot more than what you see with your two eyes. There's a lot more. If you take what I'm saying and you meditate, your mentality, your outlook about life itself, you will basically do things differently than what you do now. Let go of the textbooks that you learn in school. Okay, a lot of us revert back to scientists, what the scientists say, what the textbooks say, or oh my gosh, if it's not into the whatever, if it's a lot of us rely on calculations and other stuff. I'm like, look, all those things are fine, but I'm gonna tell you, there's a lot more than calculations. Scientists, they haven't even scratched the surface yet. Okay? Shucks. We're all scientists. We put ourselves in a situation that we always have to figure things out. Like, oh my gosh, how does this is impossible. There's no proof. How is this possible? This is not, how does this go by the laws of physics and all that? I'm like, people, there's more things than the laws of physics. Stop limiting yourself with these ideas. Be open. Seriously. I'm like, man, it's like, whether if you believe that I'm a dimensional being from another dimension or another human race, whatever, humanoid race, that's up to you. I'm not gonna get tripped over my own ego, whether if you believe me, whether if you, or I have to prove things to you. Whatever I say on my clips, or what I tweet, or my blog, or my website, and if you don't believe me, that's solely up to you. I don't gotta prove anything to anybody. It's a joy. It's my highest joy to share things to anybody. I love it. I enjoy inspiring people. So, I truly believe that if you allow yourself to be open, I really truly believe what I shared in this clip is going to inspire you such a way. So, I'm going to definitely come back more about this topic. I might make another clip on time, but I just want to express to you what I reconnect recently. And I just feel so darn great. It just does. I just feel happy. I don't really feel like I'm in a small little box or this 24-hour clock and feel like, oh my God, there's not enough time to do this. I'm like, I just gotta meditate and think differently. I mean, another thing I forgot to mention, that time. If you meditate and you allow yourself to be open spiritually, time is like, there's so many strings of time. Time could be folded or time could be bent. Time is just energy. It's an energy web. And that's what I've been trying to say in this clip. Time is there for you. Everyone think that time's against you and stuff. I mean, yeah, we brought up thinking that, but time is there for you. Remember, your consciousness, okay? There's nothing in the universe that's working against you, people. You are consciousness. When you create this arena of hell or a struggle and all that, this is a little arena that you're creating for yourself. It's all a game. No matter what you're going through in life, doesn't matter. It's all a game that you put there. But again, I'm sorry I keep repeating this. You reconnect and know who you really are. There's absolutely nothing. There's nothing in this world could ever shake you. Never. Because you are I. You are the I. The ego doesn't understand that because we allow the ego to micromanage us for so long. So it feels threatened. What do I mean by the ego? I'm gonna make this real brief. It's the voice in our head that seems to criticize us in every which way. It's the thing that I believe that's just the five senses. That basically it's that voice that tells us, where's the proof? Oh my gosh, no, he's lying. Oh my God, no, I mean, you can't believe this stuff. Oh, who do you think you are? It's the thing that we allow to micromanage us that becomes so basically about limitation. Is that we allow ourselves or we hold ourselves back because of certain things. And I say in my Twitter that I believe the human experience, and I'm sorry, I see this through, my own spiritual eye, that the human experience is the human experience is about self-discovery. This is what consciousness does. Consciousness has all types of personalities, but the human experience is about self-discovery of itself. It's fun. It's just an experience. I'm gonna create a clip on consciousness. Okay, I know I went a little bit here and there, a little bit off the topic, a little bit, but actually, not really. But I just want to try to talk about certain things like consciousness. Obviously, it's the whole package, but how everything's connected, and the void, everything's connected. There's no separation. There's none. So anyway, that's all for now for this clip. So I truly believe that, again, you allow yourself to be open, let go of these limited ideas that you've been brought up about time and everything else in life. Let go, meditate, or pray, whatever feels comfortable, okay? And you will think differently about life, period. I guarantee it. So until then, it's been great talking, and be back another time. Bye.